Should we start with a little bit of team news? How's Zinchenko? And can you give us an update on where Saliba's at?
Yeah, no big news. The picture hasn't changed from last week. And regarding Willian, we are still to wait a little bit more. It's not progressing as quick as we hoped. It's a bit delicate, and we want to be very certain when we push him that he's ready to absorb the load and the risk that we would take. And at the moment, that's not possible to do.
When I spoke to you a few weeks ago, you didn't think it was an end of season. You're a bit more concerned it might be now.
I don't know. It's a bit early to do. Probably next week we're gonna have more certainty. There is some evolution. He's doing more activity, but it's not there yet to start to throw him the pitch at the level that the sessions demand to compete in this league.
And is Zinchenko okay?
We will see that one as well. Not certain.
Not certain. Okay. So there's a chance he might not make Southampton, but it's not serious, is it?
It's a muscular injury, and he needs some time to heal, and we know that yet.
Okay. And how has Saka been this week? Because obviously it was a big moment, and you talked about how brave he was in wanting to stand up and take the penalty, but it's quite difficult for him. He looked like he had the weight of the world on his shoulders afterwards. Has he been?
That's the way he is, and he loves responsibility, but as well he puts a lot on his shoulders. And again, if he had any doubt about how much people loved him, respect him, and admired at the club, he had, I think, a very overwhelmed reaction by everybody in the building and at the club. So I think at the end it can become something very positive that can give him a big lift, because everybody reacted in an unbelievable way towards him, because he deserves it, because the way he is.
And will he continue to take the penalties? I mean, because on Sunday
Yes.
we saw Jesus with the ball in his hand, but it's going to be Saka, isn't
Yeah,
it?
if not, I would go in the pitch and throw in the ball and make sure he takes the next one.
Good. You're still 4 points clear. You can be 7 with a win against Southampton. There are a lot of people that have already written Arsenal off. What would you say to them?
Nothing. I cannot communicate. They are not here probably. So what we can say is that our players have full belief in what we do. That do know that what is at stake is incredibly beautiful, and we're going to fight for it. And the best way to do it every single day, what we continue to do, and tomorrow play really well, play with our crowd every single ball, create an incredible atmosphere, and win that game.
Just finally from me, Gary Neville made the point, I think a wobble is one thing, but falling off the bike is kind of quite another, and wobbles happen in title races. How confident are you that mentally you've been able to reset this week and you can go again?
Very confident, and twists and turns are part of anything that you do, especially in football, whatever the aim or the target it is, and it's not going to be always a linear progression, and you have to know that, and you have to be prepared for that. And the way the team reacted was incredibly positive, and we want to see that tomorrow night when we get into that field.
Alex?
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
You described the reverse fixture at St Mary's, that 1-1 draw in October, as a lesson after the game. What did you learn from that game?
Well, hopefully we are in a better place, but it's true that game had as well very, very critical moments in games that we could have closed the game, and we didn't. And the second half, that especially the first 25 minutes, it was pretty disappointing. But credit to the opposition as well. When you are not able to do what you want to do for long periods, it's because the opposition as well are doing something right. And Southampton, after analysing with a lot of detail, they have impressed me quite a lot. If I was the last game that they played, how they lost with the margin that they lost, the margin wasn't there. And I think what Ruben and the coaches are doing is really good. The rewards, maybe not, they haven't been there in terms of results in some games, but they are a really good team.
Ainsley Maitland-Niles has said that Ruben Sayers has a similar mentality to you. How much did you know about him before he took over at Southampton?
I know people has worked with him in Valencia when he was there, and they follow his career, and I know the type of coach and the way he thinks. So I think he's done. He deserves where he is. He's done really well with the team, and we'll meet tomorrow.
Pep said last night that his players are exhausted. How are your players? Is there any exhaustion in the squad?
My players today are really looking forward for tomorrow to get the game that we want and the result that we want. Play in front of our crowd again. It's 7 games left. We have 4 games to play at the Emirates, which is for them a big thing, and looking forward to it.
What kind of atmosphere are you expecting?
Friday night, it has to be electric. I want that crowd playing every single ball with our team and being no difference to what we have experienced, and a full capacity, energy-wise, and everybody very positive, pushing the team.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Alex, BBC.
Hi, Mikel. Is tomorrow night a chance to show what lessons have been learned from the last 2 games?
Every game is an opportunity to improve as a team, and every game give you a gift, and that gift is what do you learn, what do you take, and how do you improve as a team. And we have another gift tomorrow, and we have to take it and do it nice and the way we want it.
Is there some similarities with the West Ham game, another team at the bottom of the league that's scrapping to stay up? Does it add something to the match?
It has, because the necessity of those teams it's one thing, but the quality of those teams is something that as well you have to understand. There is no team in this league that is easy to beat. They all have their strengths, and when you give them hope and belief and they play in their strengths, anything can beat you in the league, and you have to be very conscious of that.
How would you take away their hope and belief?
How you take?
How would you take away their hope and belief if you said they're going to come into the game? How are you going to be able to take that away?
With more determination, more passion. What we're playing for, it's something incredible, and the club hasn't fight for this position for a long time, and that is in our hands, and we want to do it.
Ian, talk sport.
Hi, Mikel, are you well?
Very well.
You said last week after the draw, West Ham team were too nice. Now, I mean, you can coach things into players throughout the season, how to play football, but how do you coach maybe being a bit more nasty and a bit more?
Well, they always maybe got too comfortable at some stage in the game, which is different. They know. I don't have to coach them because they said it straight away, and they know it's in the system, it's in their gut. And tomorrow we have to show it. Something is to say it. Now it's time to show it. And when it comes to the similar position, react in a different way and be much more ruthless.
I know you're not looking beyond tomorrow, but nearly everybody else is saying next Wednesday is the title decider. So how difficult is it for you to make sure your players are 100% focused on the job in hand without looking too far ahead?
That's it. That's the conversation we had the other day, and nobody's talking about what's going to happen next Wednesday. We have to become really boring to everybody and be very repetitive and just focus on what we have to do this morning. That's it.
You mean each game as it comes?
Sorry?
Take each game.
Each ball. Now it's each ball, not each day, each ball. So we can change a little bit.
Last season, you were well placed to finish top 4, and the end of the season kind of fell away. How much did you learn from that to take into these last 7 games?
Different scenario. I think that the season, the way the season unbuilt was very different as well. It's very difficult to compare, but every game brings you challenges and opportunities, and at the end is how you cope on the day. What you prepare, what you do, it's fine, but at the end you have to be able to do it in the moment.
And finally, is this season right here, right now, been a success come what may? If you finish first or you finish second, would you say for you and for Arsenal, this has been a success?
We are Arsenal Football Club. The success is judged in the last game of the season.
Nick?
Hi, Mikel. With the injuries to Zinchenko and Saliba, obviously Rob Holding and Kieran Tierney playing more important roles. Can you just talk about those 2 players a bit, please, and their contribution now and for the rest of the season?
The contribution is huge. First of all, the way they are on the team, how patient they've been when they had to play, what they have produced in terms of performances, and now, they are playing more games, they are playing more minutes, they will continue to do so, and this is why you need top quality players with the right mentality to be ready when you need them in a way on the pitch, and when you are not using them that much on the pitch to contribute to the team in the right way. And those are 2 great examples of that.
And what's their attitude like? Because Tierney, for example, is a born winner from all his time at Celtic. He must be quite useful to have around when you're trying to close out the title.
Yes, they are both great characters. They are really lively around the place. They always bring that special energy to the team, and really happy to have them.
Mark? Miguel. Just back on Bukayo. With what happened, I know we talked about it before, with what happened at the Euros and the missed penalty and everything that happened after that, did that almost make him untouchable almost when you then see him missing penalties at the weekend? That you can almost brush it off and he's not going to get it down and things like that?
I don't know, experiences help obviously, and when he went through, in a way it was tough, and in a different way for somebody that is looking in a different chair, it was something beautiful and a great experience for him, you know, and I think that helped him, that helped not only him but the people around him as well to understand what the reaction has to be, the support and the protection that he needs, and he go again.
It's two draws in a row now. Is it the first time you've become maybe a little concerned at the difference in experience at this stage of the season between your players and City's players in terms of knowing the pressures of a title running?
And I wouldn't like to compare the teams. We have to focus in what we have, the reasons why we have dropped those points. I think they were two different games, in my opinion, and the games would have changed like that. You score the penalties is a different game, so the margins are so small in this league, and they have to go your way to get the results that you want, or sometimes the result that you deserve.
And just finally, Ainsley Maitland-Niles actually played when he was in your starting lineup when you won the FA Cup. Since then, I think he's had 3 loans that have been varying success. In your mind, when he comes back in the summer, will he be back in your group, or will he be moved on again?
Well, he was a really important part, and it's a player with incredible versatility that has played in many different positions, that at the end, for different reasons, some professional, some personal reason, he had to move around in the end. At the end of the season, we'll sit down and decide what the best thing for everybody to do to move forward.
Charles?
Okay, well, there's been a lot of sort of headlines and debate since the weekend, phrases like bottling it and cracking under the pressure. Do you think, given the achievements of what you've done so far this season, do you find that a little bit sort of disrespectful for the team?
These are opinions at the end, and we have to respect that, you know, and when you set the standards and expectations really hard, after you have to maintain them, and to win every single game in the Premier League, it's extremely difficult. You know, it's not like you lost 5 games in the last 6 and you are in this situation. It's just you draw 2 matches and you play 2 very difficult fixtures away from home. But when you are there, everybody expects you to win, because the necessity to get the Premier League in this championship, you have to win almost every single game, and that's the demands, and you have to accept that.
Just on Gabriel Jesus, I think that people were a bit surprised he came off against West Ham. Is he ready to play a full 90 minutes at this stage, or are you still easing him up to that?
We will see, but we've been really careful as well, and obviously there have been some issues within that period when he was doing the final stages of the rehab, and we have to be really attentive. We have players as well that can change the game, that are fully fit, that probably deserve to play as well, and we have to be mindful of that.
James?
Mikel, Thierry Henry has been speaking this week in his punditry role, and he said that Arsenal as a team have been too emotional in the title race in recent weeks, and you don't win leagues by being emotional. Do you think that's a fair criticism?
I don't know, it's just an opinion.
I mean, you sort of said you want the team to be more ruthless, to kill games off. Is part of that taking the emotion out of the occasion, if you like?
Well, you have to be. When you have big situation to score a goal, you have to put it in the net, because the margins are so small, and you have to defend much better than we did, especially the second goal and how the first one was produced. But these are as well individual situations that can happen in football.
This is the first Premier League weekend, I think, in 6 where you play first against City. Is that an advantage this time?
I don't know. In the last 6 weeks, a lot of things had happened, and we play when the fixtures come, and we don't know what the other ones are playing, and we just have to focus on doing what we have to do and win our games.
Do you have any issue with the scheduling? Because it's been week after week you've been playing second, and it looks from the outside as though that is a tougher thing to have to do.
There is something there, but obviously our game is being moved as well. The Chelsea game is being moved. It's true that there is an FA Cup weekend right now, and things will turn around. So it's what it is. We cannot control a lot of the things, because it's down to the TV, sometimes the police as well, to understand what we can do.
Were you frustrated that, in particular, that Chelsea game got moved?
No, it's not frustration. You have to understand certain situations. We are not the only team as well, and you have to be fair on that.
Art?
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Similar to Nick's point on the squad players like Kieran Tierney and Rob Holden, I guess is Emil in kind of a similar situation because he hasn't played in the last few weeks that often, but obviously proved last year how important he can be. So how's he kind of dealing with that, and how do you kind of feel his progression is going?
Well, and he's pushing, and in football, what you've done a year ago, a month ago, is not. It's about what you do now, what you did yesterday, and what you're going to do tomorrow. And the player has to have that mindset, and the contribution has to be now to the team to make us better and to make us win games.
Do you feel it is there?
He is there, very close to it, yeah.
Thanks, folks. That's the end of the